It is time for another YouTube live stream. I'm Zach. Welcome back. Let's play some games. We are back in Cities Skylines 2 in my Florida themed city. We've got to get to work because if you caught yesterday's stream, it was a giant disaster. We had a lot of problems. Well, we're going to fix them all today. Let me get my headphones on because we got a lot of work to do. So, yesterday, what happened was I had a plan to build a cargo area, and I built it, and it didn't work. And then we had a whole bunch of other problems, like all my buildings fell down all across the city. We're going to get to all of that in a second. I have the game paused. Is it paused? Yeah, it's paused. Okay. I have the game paused. But basically, what I did after the stream was I spent like 2 hours researching, looking at my city, and I figured everything out that went wrong and what we could do to fix it. But basically, I built the cargo area wrong. I was using the new DLC with assets I had never used before, so I didn't understand how they worked. I thought that you could build a inland cargo port, and you cannot do that with the new DLC. So it just wasn't working. The new DLC, you have to build the port by the water, because the way it works is ships come in and they start offloading their cargo, and then that levels up your cargo area. So for instance, you can't add the cargo train functionality until you've gotten so much cargo from your ships. It just won't count it. So I built all of these things. I built all the warehouses and stuff, and it wasn't registering any of them. Also, the other thing is I was using Find It to find all the assets. With the new DLC, you cannot do that. You have to use the in-game menu and place the gate, and then inside the gate, you can then select the gate and then select all the assets and plop them down that way. If you don't do it that way and use Find It, it won't register any of your assets, which is why none of it was working yesterday. So basically, I deleted all of it, and I just put in the standard in-game cargo transfer station. And I hooked it up to a railway depot. I got, and everything's working. My passenger lines are working. My cargo lines are working. So it's working this way. It's not ideal. It's not what I had envisioned, but the new DLC doesn't work the way I thought it did, which is okay. It's fine. Eventually, I do want to build a big cargo port. So that's coming in the future. I'm just not ready for it yet. I envision I'm going to build it over here because I have all this land over here. But it doesn't really, I have to do a bunch of infrastructure to make that happen, which, I mean, there's nothing over here. There's nothing over here. So it makes no sense for me to build it now because then all the trucks will come out of it and then drive down the freeway. It's just as if the trucks had driven in down the freeway from out of the map. It's the same thing. So whether they come in from the boats or anything. So anyway, it only makes more sense until after I've built my city up a little bit over here, is what I'm saying. So that's a future problem for future me, for future projects. In the meantime, what I've done is I've just built the cargo station here, which was the goal. This was the goal, was to get some kind of train cargo built up here. Now, I do want to extend it into the downtown, but I've decided to hold off on that for now just to see how well this does. I mean, it may not make sense right now. I mean, the city is only, it's grown a lot. We've grown up to 77,000, but still, I mean, that's not the biggest city. We may not need 2 cargo stations right next to each other, like right here. So I'm going to hold off on the downtown cargo station for right now. But we have this. This is the same general setup we had last time. We have the trucks coming in here. It's a one-way road. It loops around and comes back out the other side. And this should help with traffic a little bit. Do I have any cargo trains coming in right now? Here's a cargo train, but it's coming back to the depot. It's going to despawn because it's not hooked up this way. Okay, so we're going to run through a couple of the problems. The reason that all of these things despawned, from what I'm guessing, is we have a major shortage in my city of stone. So I went and looked at my production statistics. And I gotta say, I love the change to the production menu. This has been updated in a recent update, and it looks so cool. Look at this. You can really see how your supply chains are flowing. So for instance, this is wood, this is wheat, and as you can see, for a lot of the things, I have a surplus. Even with all of my buildings destroyed and demolished, I still have a surplus for a lot of this stuff. So I think my city's been rebalanced a little bit. Because I didn't used to have so much of a surplus of stuff, but we have tons of surplus. So it's not the end of the world that so much of my stuff is destroyed. Walt is in chat saying, hi all, hey, welcome to the stream. Okay, so the way this works now is, this is the original, so for wood, we're looking at wood. This is the original forestry, and all this green is surplus. And then this is how much is being sent out of the city. The orange is how much is being processed in my industry zones, and then it's outputting, and people are using this timber resource in industry zones. So you can kind of look at this visually and see what's happening. Basically, you can just see, oh my goodness, we have a huge surplus. All right, so that's wonderful. The thing we have a deficit in, if we scroll down, we have a massive deficit in stone. So this is a problem, and this is new. This my city did not used to have this deficit, and I think what happened is when we built all those downtown buildings, basically all construction in the game uses stone. That's how it does. It builds buildings, it maintains buildings, it uses a bunch of stone. I think all those new downtown buildings just use a bunch of stone, and I didn't realize. And so now we have this massive deficit in stone. Well, everything has maintenance cost based on your stone. And so if you're importing a bunch of stone, this is all imported stone here, that's going to raise your costs, which is going to put all of your businesses out of business. So all of these things are collapsed. Now, luckily, I didn't realize this. The game makes it really easy to rebuild. There's like a rebuild button. We could just rebuild all of these right away. But before I rebuild them, I want to make sure we have enough stone, because it will just they'll just go out of business again if their maintenance cost is too high. Volt says, just call me V. All right, man. I'll call you V. All right. Okay, so let's build some stone here. Well, actually, let's move some of this stuff, because the other thing we're going to do is, remember, we have to connect this industry area here to the cargo station. That was the whole point of the cargo station. So I do want a road coming through here. And so I think I would like to move these recycling centers. So I'm going to move these. I'm just going to shuffle this stuff around before I build the stone areas. So let's shuffle this. Actually, before we reshuffle that, we're going to reshuffle a whole bunch of stuff around. Before I reshuffle this, let me delete this power line. We'll fix that in a second. All right, and so now we will take this and shuffle this around. And we'll put it just back over here. Do we have room over here? No, it's too big. We'll just put it in here. I think we have enough capacity on this road for the cargo and the garbage trucks from the incineration plant. So that's moved there, and then we're going to take the recycling plant and move that too. So these are just garbage facilities. So these will just produce more garbage trucks. Actually looks pretty nice like that. So this will be our new garbage hub over here. Those are cool looking buildings, aren't they? All right, and that frees up all of this space here. Now I'm actually going to delete this road. Oh, and funny thing, Liam's Having Fun Street has moved over to this street somehow. It's no longer... this used to be Liam's Having Fun Street. It used to go all the way through town here, but now it's Buckthorn Street. I think like all the road building we did just screwed up the names. So we should change these back. Liam's Having Fun Street. This is now going to be... Well, let's just delete this. Sorry, Liam. And then we'll rename this one This will be Liam's Having Fun Street. Liam's Having Fun Street. Problem solved. Oh, by the way, I also fixed this bridge. This is the one I couldn't get this bridge to be on the ground here, or this road to be on the ground. I fixed it. Just took a little finagling. Okay, let's get this other road in here just so we know where it's going to be. And I think we could have it come out right here. I think makes the most sense. No, maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this. Let's try this one. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to come here, we're going to go up 30, it's a 30-foot tall bridge. And that is 7.4% grade. That is like perfect. 7.4% grade. It'll be over the road like this. Yeah, I think, uh-oh. Is that, yeah, that's straight. It just looks kind of weird. Okay, then we want 7.4% grade on the other side. Just like that. That's perfect. Okay. Then we'll go from here. Oh, no, we want to go over the train track, too. So maybe we should keep it raised. Yeah, let's keep it raised. I know that's like a long bridge, but let's just keep it raised the whole time as it goes over the train tracks. Because it's going to have to be raised again anyway. Okay, so all the way to here. How does that look? Okay, we got pillars. Okay, pillars are perfectly over the road. Oh, it perfectly spaces the pillars in between the train tracks. That is great. Wonderful. All right, so now we're going to come down to the ground over here. And I want to just curve down. Let's curve it like this. So maybe... Clearance too low. Oh, shoot. We're going to have to destroy this road. All right, take two. Here we go again. Okay, start at 30 feet tall. Then we're going to come down to the ground. Be right there. And does that, how does that curve into here? All right, I think that looks pretty nice. What do you think? I think that'll work. Okay, so this is the one way into here. And I might make this I might expand this road just to make this, no, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this intersection. We're going to use our intersection tools here. We're going to use some lane mathematics. Okay, we're going to remove unsafe and U-turns. And I'm just going to make it so oh, it's already set up the way I want. Okay, so no, it's not. Okay, so oh, I see. So I want this road to only go into this lane and not to go to this lane. So that means that if trucks coming down here will immediately merge into this lane, and then this trucks on this lane will go into this lane. So it's a perfect lane for lane intersection. And of course they can go up and they can turn around and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think that might, if there's a lot of traffic, that might help out a little bit. All right, did we do it? Did we get this I think we have this all connected up. That was fairly easy. We might want to move some of these trees because they look like they're in the way a little bit. Don't want any trees on the road. I'm going to adjust this just slightly. Just use move it, just straighten that just a touch. I think it looks a little bit better. All right, cool. So we have our connection, we have our things moved. I might throw in a few more trees in here as well while we're over here. Walt says, eventually you might want some slip lanes or turns on that traffic. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. You're probably right. We'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, we're just throwing a bunch of trees in here. Oh, that was too many trees. Just a few too many trees. Oh gosh, it's very dense. Yeah, you've got to be careful with the tree brush now because they made it in the last update. They made the tree brush stronger. So you just got to be a little bit careful with it. All right, so problem solved. Okay, so next problem. We did have some electricity issues in the last stream. If you remember, we had bottlenecks and a bunch of people lost power because of it. I just wanted to do a quick look at our power grid before we start building out the stone. Because if we have to move, again, we're just moving everything around to fit in with how our new city is expanding. Walt says, I'm still playing Cities Skylines 1 and was playing with the new, the new packs, but it didn't give me much so far. Oh, the new data view. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played Cities Skylines 1 since Cities Skylines 2 came out. But I've seen all the stuff with the new DLC packs. They look really cool. Okay, we're going to look at our electric grid. So basically, we have two power plants. We have the power plant here, which creates... Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. How much energy do we create? 0? That's not right. Hold on, let me run this simulation. Okay, we're producing 834 megawatts. And that's basically from, we have a couple of windmills scattered throughout the area. So here's a wind turbine, here's a wind turbine, here's a wind turbine. We have 3 wind turbines, which basically produce nothing. It was 6 megawatts. Then we have this gas-powered plant over here, which is the one that's right next to the skyscraper. That one's crazy. And then we have a geothermal power plant over here. And so these basically each produce like 400 megawatts each. So this one and this one. So it's like half and half of our electricity production. And then our incinerator plant produces a little bit. Was this 5 megawatts? Basically nothing. JT is in chat. Hey, saying, I wish you were here. Just discovered I need to do F-bar at 8328 filings with 5220s. Arg. Other than that, life is good. Good to see you, JT. So we just have to think through this. If we have 2 power plants, we got this one here and this one here. We need to make sure that they're getting the power into the city that we need. And ideally what you would do, because only so much power can flow through the small power lines. So all the streets have power running under it, but these are small power lines. So you get like these bottlenecks if it's trying to push too much power through here. See, like it says here, the electricity flow, 55.76 out of 40 megawatts. So this has this has an 80 megawatts electric flow. 40 out of 40. Yeah, so if it has to push too much, it basically can't push more than 40 through these areas. And if it has to push more than that, it's going to have a problem. So you need to make sure you have enough connections. Now, these power lines can push through 400 megawatts. So really, what you want in your city is you want to have the big power lines kind of going throughout your city and then distributing the power into the smaller power lines that go underneath the road. That's really how you should design it, and I really don't have that kind of setup yet for this city. So let's just make sure I have that enough coverage set up to do that. First things first, I do think that we need to move this. This is the gas power plant. It's right next to downtown. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to be here. It did when we were first starting. I mean, it made sense before. I built this before downtown was here. Then it made sense. But now that downtown is here, they don't need to be looking out these windows and looking at this giant building, blowing smoke everywhere. That's just awful. So let's move this gas power plant. I think that's a smart idea. JT says you need transformers. That design sounds very solid. Walt says it's a strange thing where people had fun on CS1, went to CS2, did not enjoy it, and just stopped playing both games, but did not go back to CS1 because of frustration with CS2. It's a strange paradox. JT says that is a crazy metropolis. Let's actually look and see our other choices. I mean, maybe we just build a new power plant. Nuclear power plant is $5 million. It's 750 megawatts. $550,000 a month upkeep. What's my upkeep on this per month? My upkeep is more? What? This is more upkeep than the nuclear power plant. How is that possible? Well, all of these have additional upkeep. But even with this, it's not that much. Well, I guess the additional turbine is. You know what? I think we upgrade to nuclear power. I mean, I had I was using the gas power plant because we produce so much gas in the city. But I don't know. I feel like we just upgrade to nuclear power. If we're upgrading, I mean, it's a lot of money. What was it, $5 million? It would be half of our money, but I feel like it would be a good investment. Nuclear power plant, $5 million. It's going to be less money to upkeep per month. Okay, let's look at my progression node. Go to power. Yeah, I have enough points. Let's unlock. Let's unlock. Oh, wait a second. We could also do a hydroelectric plant, which I don't think will work for our map, or a solar power plant, but we don't need green power. We don't need green energy. Let's just buy a nuclear power plant. I think that's a plan. JT says, I keep waiting for Batman to appear. Did you fix the issue with people leaving the city? Actually, people really haven't left the city at all. Well, what you're talking about is at the end of the stream yesterday, all of these buildings are collapsed. So people didn't leave the city. The buildings just collapsed, which is a problem. We're talking about that. The reason why all these buildings collapsed is because we don't produce enough stone. And without enough stone, you can't maintain the building. So we have to build stone quarries throughout the city. That's the issue. So that's a really easy thing to fix, but we have to move the power first. V says, in real life, $5 million would be an incredibly cheap nuclear power plant. Usually it's $40 to $100 million to get in the door and almost 20 years. I think it's more than that. JT says, wow, nuclear power, that's impressive that you know that. Zach, you need to like yourself on YouTube if you have that capability. V says, I know people in the industry. JT says, oh, I thought they were leaving. We are going to fix the collapsing with quarries. Yeah, actually, we can look at our statistics. Where are our statistics? Here are our statistics. Yeah, we can look at this is our money. It's pretty stable. But we can look at our population. And we really haven't had any dips in population. This is a 1 month time scale. Yeah, this is over 5 years. Our population just goes up, 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 up. So people aren't really leaving. Their businesses are being destroyed. And let's our employment. Unemployed. Ugh, we have a lot of unemployed. But is this percentage? This isn't percentage. This is just total. What's our percentage unemployment? Percentage unemployment is 12.4, which is high, but it's not horrible. Horrible would be like 25% unemployment. That would be a disaster. Okay, so I'm thinking for the nuclear power plant, I think we put it over here at the edge of the map. Does it produce any... It doesn't produce any pollution. It just produces high noise pollution. So it doesn't look like it produces like ground pollution. Because here, like the coal power plant produces ground pollution and air pollution. But you don't get that with nuclear. It's just noise. So yeah, I think we put it on over here. What do we have going on over here? Yeah, we have a blank road. We'd have to buy this square. So let's buy this one. $175,000. Let's do it. Let's buy ourselves a $5 million... Oh, no, wrong one. I almost put the wrong one down. A $5 million nuclear power plant, and it doesn't fit. Son of a biscuit. Okay. I didn't realize it was so large and in charge. Okay, I would like to have it like facing this way. I mean, we do have room over here. We could just set it back a little ways. Yeah, let's just do that. We'll just set it back to here. Let's check our resources. I don't want to put it on top of oil that we need. Yeah, see, this is the oil right here. What are you saying in chat? V says, do not forget to like. JT says, it has grown. V says, there used to be a like and subscribe thing back in the day. JT says, it's going down, unemployment, according to the graph. I liked, and if V did too, that leaves Zach to like his live stream. Not sure if creators can. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I generally don't like my own streams because YouTube was doing a thing for a while where if YouTube is always trying to fight creators who try to bot their own like numbers. And you just got to be careful if you're a creator liking your own video, because YouTube might think that you're trying to game the system somehow. I don't think they do that anymore, but there was a time where they were penalizing creators who liked their own videos. I'm not sure if they changed that, but yeah, I don't like my own videos because of that. All right, so this will go over some of the oil. But I think that looks good. All right, beautiful, beautiful looking power plant. Let's build a road in right here. We'll connect it up right here. All right. And what needs to be connected back here? Oh, okay. These are the high voltage power lines here. Okay, but before we forget, let's destroy this one. Okay, we want to get rid of this guy. See ya later. No more massive pollution. And let's destroy the power line that goes out of the city, which is this guy. Okay. Now, on this guy, we have, it looks like 3 voltage lines that can come out of here. So one of these, I would like to go out to the outside of the city. So let's just do, we're going to do a high voltage line. Actually, we'll do it underground. I'm going to connect these two like this. And we're just going to go right out of the city. So this will export electricity and will give us money because we're sending it to other parts of the city. This one, I would like to send like over here at least. So we're going to have to either buy a square. Yeah, I might just buy the square. Okay, so we're going to take this power line. Let me make sure it's the big one. Yeah, so it's the big giant power lines. We're going to connect it up to here. And we're just going to kind of go along the edge here. And we're going to come over here, and we're going to connect it into this road here. But to connect it into that road, we need to create a transformer station. One of these substations. So we have a couple of different options here. Transformer station. I like this one. It's kind of big, but I like the way it looks. See, it looks like one of these like electric yards. Like I'm sure you guys have seen these around the city. And so this is how you connect this into your grid. So we're going to grab our power line and just connect this guy into here. And so this creates then 2 touch points. So there's 1 touch point into the grid here, 1 touch point into the grid here, and this should then feed into the rest of the city. Now we should make sure that these are kind of connected. We're going to need more touch points than that. Because the electricity is going to try to go through the road network. It's going to go through here, go through here, go through here, and there's no connections through here. So let's make sure that this is connected up here. So maybe like from there to there is a connection. And then maybe from here to here's a connection. And I don't think I can I cross the train tracks? I don't think I can cross train tracks. Oh, I can cross train tracks. I cannot cross, this is a tunnel. But I can, there's no tunnel here on this side, so I can cross for like right there. So what if we cross, like right across here? Oh, it didn't connect. No. How is that not connected? Let's try that again. Okay, so from there to there. Nope. Oh, maybe because this is not an actual road. This is a tram road. Maybe it just doesn't want to recognize it. That's okay. We'll connect it somewhere else. Yeah, I think you have to connect it from a road to a road. JT says, that sucks. If you like your own streams, it should be okay, but I get the point. Where are you going to put in the vacant spot, I wonder? It seems easier to buy the square. Mega pylon in place. V says we call them transformer substations. Yeah, I would like to connect it all the way up along here. What is this? See, these are all tunnels. I won't be able to go through these tunnels. Let's do this. Let's have it go off an offshoot here. Then come over the freeway. To like there. See, because there's another connection point right there. And then there's this power line right here also. So what we could do, is that underground or over? That's underground. Let's come all the way over to here for now. We'll connect this guy up into like there. So I'm creating almost like a backbone of these high voltage power lines along the edge of the city. And I would like to sneak this in right through here. So maybe I just adjust these. Okay, this one's already demolished, so let's just delete this guy. Delete that farm. This one I think we can just move a little bit. Let's go to our movement tool. We use our industry area tool. Let's just push this guy back just a little bit. Give us some room. This is a garbage facility. I don't think we can move this. Can we? We can. This is so cheaty. I'm just shrinking our garbage facility. I'm surprised you're allowed to do this. Okay, can I move this? Let us go down to our sub-building. Let's relocate this guy to like right... No, we don't have enough room there. I don't really have enough room anywhere. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to delete this. We needed that when we had a garbage problem, but we don't have a garbage problem anymore. See, right now, our stored garbage is very low. So there's like almost nothing in this. This is a landfill. There's almost nothing in it. Okay, but here is our high voltage line here. And so what we can do is just run it all along the back here. Okay, we're going to delete this little extra portion. Actually, I don't like how this is angled. Can I move it this? Can I use move it for this? Let's try to line these up a little bit better. And bring that right into there. Okay, so this, and let's see if we can move this a little bit better angled too. All right, I like that. So this should all be connected now, and now we should be able to disconnect this, although this is underground to here, over to here. Let's delete these underground power lines that we don't need anymore. Delete this above ground power line. We can turn this substation off, or we might leave that on. Yeah, why is there a substation here? That's so weird. Let's delete this for a moment. Yeah, we should have another substation along this route somewhere. So here's the energy zone. Here's this guy. Gosh, there is not really a good spot for this. Although, we could sneak a power line through here. It would be kind of hidden with the trees and everything. It would be cool to get a substation like right through here. That would probably prevent a lot of issues. Yeah, I'm thinking. It would also be cool to get a substation like in here. Would be cool. Because we can get a power line coming in, although we may not need it because it connects here and then the electricity flows through the street system here. So maybe one right here wouldn't do that much. We could also just send the line down through here. Oh, let's do this. This is so much easier. We'll just send the line down through here and have a substation right here. Perfect. What a great way to do it. Just right off the back of the stadium. And we got a little guy right here. Let's see. What's the capacity? 80 megawatts? 80 megawatts, 80 megawatts. This one's only 40. Okay, we want at least 80, so we're going to go with this guy. It's just a little teeny tiny building. You almost don't even notice it. Look at that little guy. All right, so right off the out of the back of this, we're going to have this giant. Oh no, it's not going to let me because of the tunnels. Okay, if I do it like this, it'll let me. Boom, just like this. That is perfect. Okay, so now we have these are our new power stations. We have one here and one here. And we have connections to the grid here, 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 and here. So I think it's distributed kind of evenly throughout the city, although this one's turned off. Let's turn this one back on. Turn this guy on. Boom. There we go. I think that will solve any future electricity problems. I know that was a lot. We spent like 45 minutes doing this, but this will prevent what happened in yesterday's stream where we had those bottleneck electricity problems. It's because we never did stuff like this before. So I think this will solve a lot of those problems. Let's let it run and see what happens. Okay, you can see the power flowing through all of these lines. It's flowing through everything, flowing through the city. That is good. That is good. We have tons of power production. Let's check our budget to make sure it's not out of control. Budget is actually looking pretty good. We're making $4 million a month. If we look at our services, electricity is a little bit short on budget. We used to be making electricity. Why aren't we making electricity anymore? Okay, we're exporting a ton. You know what? I bet all those... We just built all those power lines. That's what's costing us all this maintenance. All this maintenance here, $1.9 million, is because we have to pay for all the power lines we just built. That's a little bit of a bummer. But... So we're pretty much even. This is pretty close to even. We're exporting a ton, but it's costing us a ton of money to maintain it all. We could actually lower our budget down a little bit. Let's lower this down. Oh, okay, there we go. Now we're making money. Lowered our budget down to 100. We're making money. Whew. JT in chat says they look like Illuminati crop circles. Oh no, not the Illuminati. The farm was subject to eminent domain. JT says the substation being at the university could possibly provide work-study opportunities to students. I like the gold tower. How do you possibly know how many megawatts it needs? Good thing this is you building the city. It actually was amazing. V says, watch our power flowing, power to the people. V says it's about $100,000 per kilometer per high-tension power line. Okay, the other problem, so last night when I was going through, I just did a quick review of all the statistics in the city looking for other problems that could have caused these collapsed buildings. There is another problem in the city that we have to address, which is water. And we built so much so quickly, I didn't really realize that we are very short on water consumption. And I don't think it's because we have lack of, like we have pumping stations down here, we have water towers. The image in the thumbnail for the stream is a water tower. I built this like water tower on top of this hill here. And it's a beautiful, a beautiful tower that kind of overlooks the city, but this is really a water tower that pumps water up from the ground. So we have a lot of water facilities, but they're not pumping enough water. And I actually think it's just because our budget is reduced. I think we could just increase our budget and it would solve the problem. So if we go to services, go to water, yeah, our budget is only at 76%, and I think I was trying to save money. But if we bumped this up to 100, what does that do to our water? It's still not enough. Oh dear. Well, maybe. Oh, we need sewage too. I mean, that's not a horrible problem because we're just exporting and importing it. If we look at our service money, you can see we're paying to import services, which means we're sending out our sewage, our excess sewage to other cities, and we're importing water from other cities. That's costing us $69,000 a month, which is not that bad, actually. But we might need to build a new water pumping station or something. Advanced water pumping station. Water treatment plant. Yeah, we do need some of this stuff. Okay, let's look at our nodes. We could buy a water treatment plant. This is a processing and purification of wastewater. Treated water can be safely recirculated into the water network or disposed of in the environment. Okay, so maybe we can take our sewage and then put our sewage back into the water system to drink. I'm all for that. Okay, let's do that. Advanced water pumping station, a highly efficient and powerful surface water pumping station. Let's do that too. Okay, we are down to only 12 development points, which is a little bit scary. But if we look at our water, okay, so the advanced pumping station, okay, it's not that big. How big is this one? This one's even smaller. Okay, we do have water over here. How can I toggle? I want to just see where our water is. Yeah, like right down here we have tons of water. Right down here we have tons of water, but this might get polluted because we put our incinerator plant right on top of it. So that's not a good source. We do have water over here too. I'd honestly, I'd like it closer to downtown. Let's stick it over here. I mean, we just bought this square. So, yeah, let's run a road out to here, and we just can stick it in the corner here. It says no water. What? Oh, does this have to be put on the coast? This has to be put on the coast. It pumps water in from the ocean. I see. You can't just put it on the land. Okay, what about this? This I can put on the land. Okay, we're going to put it right in the middle of all this water area here. We're going to get a little road. And we're just going to run it. Over to here. And then we're going to run it into here. Yikes, let's make this last portion a straight line. Okay, great. So now we have a water pumping station. What does that do to our stats? Okay, we're just slightly in the orange. I'm okay with that. Sewage went up also. Wait, what? How did sewage just go up? Does this do sewage too? Oh, I see. Oh, wait a second. This doesn't pump water. This treats water. This isn't pumping water. This is treating the water. Okay, we don't want this in the water area. We want a water pumping station in the area. Okay, good thing I looked at that. So actually, let's move this. We could actually put this over here. Done. So that's over there. And then we could put an actual pumping station right in here. Okay, we got this little teeny tiny building. I guess this is the pumping station. Can we upgrade this? We can. Okay, we'll put a filtering system, which reduces pollutants. Oh, but we have no pollutants. Why would we need that? An additional pump. Let's do that. We'll add additional pump. And what does that do? Okay, so our sewage is in the green. Has this come on? I can see. There it goes. There it goes. Okay, so we're in the green in both areas. Green in water pumping and green in sewage treatment. So our water system is fixed. All right, so the only thing we need now to fix our city's problem is more stone. It's taken an hour, but we're finally getting to the stone. Whew, okay. JT says, very well done. What? It's surrounded by water, and won't the nuclear plant demand a higher usage too? Probably. You're right. The French water, V says, the French water tower that somehow also does sewage treatment. JT says, that easy? Increasing the budget? The water tower reminds me of Coit Tower in San Francisco. It does kind of remind me of that. V says, exporting services is really expensive in the game. JT says, yes, let's build a pumping station. V says, grow the city for development points. More people, more jobs. JT is saying, yes, but doesn't the pumping station have to be in the ocean? Yeah, you were right. I should have read your comment. Okay, stone. So stone is, there's an industry that you can build that is just for stone. It's this one, stone mining. And you can place these anywhere. Let's check. Let's see. There's natural resources on the map. These are all different types of natural resources. So you don't want to cover up one of these areas with a stone quarry, because these are valuable land. But so I don't see any, like, maybe like here's like an open space we could use. This could be a stone quarry, and it's right in the city. This could be a stone quarry. I don't know how much we need, but let's start filling in some of these areas. Yeah, so maybe like place one right down here. Okay, so we got this road here already. Let's go like this. Then up like this. And then we'll just place it right against here. And just as a reminder, before we place this down, what we're trying to do is we go into our production tab, look at stone. We have a 532-ton deficit on stone produced in my city, which is why all my buildings are collapsing. So we're going to place this here, and then just draw out lines for a stone quarry. And these aren't really even, so let's try to even them up a little bit. That's better. There we go. Much better. All right, so there's a gigantic stone quarry. Let's see how long it takes to get into production. Okay, it looks like it's in production now, but it has 0 employees. Okay, 8 employees. Okay, so it's working. It's a level 1. Boom. There it goes. Now it's starting to generate stone. So let's go into our little area here. We're still short 532 tons. Okay, that did nothing. Literally did nothing. This is making stone, right? Yeah, produces stone. So maybe we need to give it a little bit of time. Let's build another one. So what did we say? We could build one right here, I think what we were saying. Maybe let's do a connection into this road. Although, look at how busy it is already. I hate to add more trucks or whatever into here, but this is, I don't know, I feel like this is a special circumstance. If we connected it to this road, it would go down to here, across to here. Let's do that. I don't want to connect anything into this because look at how busy it is already. And I just want to keep these road networks separate for now. I don't want to cause any more problems. Okay, so we're going to go to dirt roads. We're going to place this off of a dirt road. We're going to do a gigantic quarry over here. We're going to do a stone quarry on this side. We're going to try and follow our power lines, give our power lines that we just built a little bit of breathing room. Maybe come up over to here, leave a little bit of space. Okay, a stone quarry there. Let's build another one right on the other side of the street. It's like a double stone quarry. All right, that looks pretty cool. I mean, we just built 3 kind of large areas. So hopefully those stone quarries will generate a lot. I'm hoping. It still says nothing. I don't know how long you have to wait for it to come into effect unless unless we need that much more of this stuff. Oh, I just saw it tick down. Okay, so now we're at 492. Okay, so maybe it just takes some time. Maybe I just have to wait for them to process the stone. So let's give it a little bit of time. We'll check back in a little bit and see if this continues to go down. Because I think you can click on these and it'll tell you production 7 tons a month. Oh dear. That is not very much. 7 tons? This can't be right. 7 tons a month? Oh, wow. Okay, so this is 160 tons a month. Okay, so yeah, you do need to just give it some time. Okay, yeah, because this is 160 tons a month. Okay, this already went up to 100 tons a month, 107 tons a month. So let's just give it some time. Yeah, 7 tons a month, that's not enough. Okay, so hopefully we'll see some difference there. Selyang is in chat saying, what industries do you have? We have all the industries. JT says, yay, quarries for everyone. You get a quarry and you get a quarry. Yes, the infrastructure is coming along very nicely. I bet by tomorrow it will be better. Yeah, so we have all these buildings that are collapsed. You can see the little warning signs all over the map. All these are our beautiful farms here. They're all collapsed. And all I have to do is click on them and do rebuild. But I'm not going to rebuild until we have a surplus of stone so that this doesn't happen again. And if we need more stone, I mean, we have more room here. We can put more stone quarries and more stone quarries. But this might be enough, what we just built. Those 3 big areas. But we might build some more. Maybe I'll put one out here or something. We do got all this room out here. Maybe we will just put one over here. Was there any resources here? No, not really. I don't want to put it too close to the groundwater. Although I don't know if it does it generate pollution? It generates low ground pollution. I don't know if the ground pollution affects the water. I think the only one that affects the water are like these. Like this affects the water. Yeah, let's throw in another quarry over here. It can't hurt. Ooh, I just saw a negative sign over here. Maybe they won't like this. Where is the water? Let's just look. The water, the water is right here. Okay, maybe we'll move it. Maybe we'll put it over here. This is becoming quite the nice little industrial district over here at the edge of downtown. All right, so downtown has its own stone quarry right there. We can build more into it later. Let's delete this guy. Boom. Yes, done and done. And yeah, now we just have to wait and see what happens. Selling says, do you have oil or forestry? So all of this is oil over here. This is all oil fields. This is oil fields too. And then forestry, I have some forestry buildings. Like this is a forestry area here. This is a forestry area here. But these are collapsed. Oops. But yeah, we do have forestry throughout. But I think that's a good place to end it. We did a bunch in today's stream. We'll do a bunch more tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. That's it for me. Thank you guys so much for joining for another Cities Skylines stream. And everybody remember, no matter what is going on in your life, to always do something fun every single day. Until next time, this is Zach signing off.